Now, not knocking anything to do with today's magazines and different things that we get, but have a look at this. December 1978, total cost of $2, or might have been $2.55. Well, that is interesting, maybe. But this is back in the day, the 70s. You got to love the 70s, where you opened up and you went. It was just full on marketing, and I love this style of marketing. I mean, and the truth is, I have all these bits, but to have these marketing shots that are just so well presented, and they called it the Winter 78-79 product line, and then you go the page over and you go, oh, do you want fries with that? You can also get the 820S with the VFO 820 SP, the speaker, and all the bits and pieces, and and for those that really had money, you get the 922A, and actually one of these is probably going to turn up next week here. It's the one thing I sold one to a mate of mine, Terry VK3MAW, and I was just incredibly stupid. I was being nice to Terry, to be honest, but the moment I sold it, I realised that it really did go with this lineup that I've got, like this one here. And of course, you sort of go, well, another one will come up. Well, as Terry well knows, it's been a little while. One hasn't come up. Anyway, finally one in the US came up, so I ordered that, and from David Schulman Auctions, actually. And David's a great guy to deal with. Talk about, actually, very quick one on that. I know this is supposed to be about a magazine, but very quick one on that. David, we had a bit of a freight issue. They use a third-party company for freight. David went and checked the situation out. He said, Brenton, you're right, they're on drugs. Oh, there's the 599D. Jeez. See, one of those. All right. Anyway, so David went and checked out the situation, and he said, yep, they're on drugs. I have retrieved your boxes from them, and what was going to be $2,000 US, is now, I think, in the end, we got over about $600, under $600 actually. No, it was less than that, US, to get an IC775 DSP and also the R820 over. Now, these are big boxes, I get that. But David, when he sells from his auction, he's selling literally thousands of bits and pieces sometimes. So it all has to be sorted, and all has to get to people all over the world. So for him to take out that special bit of time and energy, David Schulman, you're a legend. Okay, so I got a bit sidetracked because of the 820 to the R820 and etc. Andre, my good mate VK3MAW, sent me this up, and I've got to be honest, like Andre looks after me way too much, but he just doesn't realise how much I sit there going through these things and going, oh, hang on, we haven't got one of those. Whatever those is, I find things that we haven't got yet. And so then it becomes my life's mission to add. So don't blame me, blame Andre. Andre sends me, he's like the drug dealer who sends the drugs to me, and then what happens is I get hooked and I need more. So, just to sort of put everything into perspective. Look, I could go on forever about this. There's some fantastic reading in these old magazines. I'm a bit of a magazine collector, as anybody knows, and the only one I haven't collected, I've got to be honest, because I really just don't have the room, is the Australian Amateur Radio, the Wireless Institute magazine, which is no slur on the Wireless Institute magazine. It's just the practical space that you need to do that. Many a person has been collecting them, and then they've ended up in the bin because of the fact they've had to move or something, which is terrible, of course. But have a look at all this old stuff. I mean, this is just, I know you're probably thinking, geez, Bretton, I've got better things to do than sit here watching you flicking pages on a magazine. But if you can just get my excitement and some of the articles, and it just goes on and on. You just had so many manufacturers and things going on back in the 70s and 80s, and we've got a bit. We've become a bit average now, to be honest, with some of the stuff. This was where it was really all happening back in the 70s and 80s. But anyway, big thank you to Andre. Magazine turned up on Friday, mate, and I sort of went, oh, I know what that is, I reckon. I've just got a feeling. And anyway, thank you. But yeah, certainly a couple of things come out of that. David Schulman Auctions, can I just say, really want to compliment David on some really good customer follow-up for me. Look, nobody got angry at anybody, don't get me wrong. The freight company that quoted $2,000, it's just the way that they use a certain, anyway. So what? Just a message from David to the rest of you is please, check with him on freight costings. Like, don't just go bidding on David Schulman Auctions without, I'm trying to find a nice advert for you, without sort of checking with him, which I'll be doing as well, because I can't expect David to, suddenly become a freight company as well, although he has this time, which I will definitely try and twist his arm to do that again. Oh, look at all the Dentron stuff. Okay, there you go. All right, I'm not going to bore you, although if you're anything like me, you'll be far from bored. The Ten-Tech gear, I've got most, well, that's not true, I've got most of these, I've got some of these. It's a better statement. The Argonaut, I know I've got the Argosy. Where's the Argosy there? It may have been a bit early for the Argosy. We were just looking at that. Me and Graham yesterday came over from Mildura. We had a bit of a look at that. But anyway, as you can see, lots of stuff that you can buy from the 70s that can fill up a lot of space, which is primarily our problem at the moment, trying to, have more space. Anyway, I just wish Sam would let me build one more shed, one big one. All right, okay, thank you very much. A big thank you to Andre. The more I flick through this, the more, you're just seeing there's just so many, US in the 1970s. It was alive and well. And this doesn't even cover CB. This is just ham radio. Amazing. Just so much. Just goes on and on. And Nelly probably read this and said, hey, how can we convert that to a fold over? Look at that. What does that look like, guys? Oh, it doesn't look like an alley, really. It's a bit different in the way they do that. But interesting how they, had these little kits to turn your Roan over into a fold-over tower. And anyway, I will just keep raving on if you're not careful. All right, we'll finish off on the TR7600. Haven't got one of those. Okay. 73s to all. Thanks very much for having a look at my little gift from Andre. And it's certainly, we've got a few 73s, but not enough. So we'd love to get a few more. So certainly, if you're going to, don't throw them out. Whatever you do, don't throw them out. With American magazines, with some of these things, yes, we'll definitely collect those. We've certainly been going hard at the amateur radio actions, the CB actions, which we're pretty right with now, which is great. But certainly some of the UK and US stuff, we need more room. I'm not going to try and kid you, but we're not going to stop collecting it. Just, a little thing like room gets in the way. We're going to have to go back to our plan B, and I'll show you a video of what that is soon. I need to rob a bank or something very similar to do what we need to do. But let's finish off on the Kenwood page. Let's not worry about my banking issues. We'll finish on the R820, actually. See, this doesn't cost any money. If Sam watches this video, she doesn't think that I'm about to buy another one, because I've already spent the money on this one. So see, that's all good. And look, wasn't bad. By the time I landed it with freight, probably about $1,000. Now, some people might say, are you serious for a receiver? But look, it was mint, and it's, anyway, there's different prices for different things for different people, depending on how you consider, history and what it's worth. And to own a lineup like this, is it something that fits into what makes you tick? With me, obviously a little bit, even things like these, we talk about the 599 and the R599, T599. I've been, too many nines then, almost. I've been, having a really good play, but look at this. Now less than $1,000. Well, my mate Terry, VK3YJ, he sold it to me for $980. Now, based on that, I did pretty well, because I got it for now less than $1,000. Some 50 years later. No, 40 years later. But anyway. All right, that's enough. Thanks very much for looking at my ridiculous video. This is not the type of normal video we do, but sometimes you just got to let your hair down and have a bit of fun and enjoy the history of our bloody great hobby, that's for sure. 73s VK3, Charlie Mike, Tangambalanga, Northeast Victoria, Australia. All the best. Please subscribe, and we'll try and put up something a little bit more sensible than this next time. But hey, hopefully you laugh along with me sometimes on some of the stupidity of the things we do here. Cheers.